Hi, my name is Karen Lyons, and I'm coming to you from Whitman, and I am here to give a chair yoga class. So to begin, chair pretty much is for everybody. It's a great way of keeping the energy flowing within your body, toning your muscles, keeping the bones nice and strong, and just really allowing yourself to take a moment for yourself and breathe and just enjoy yourself, right? You have a little bit more mobility in your life. And to start off with, today I'm in a chair without any arms, but however, you know, that can also be one with arms. It's all good. And I have some props. So generally I have some blocks that I would work with. These are really good ones. These are cork blocks. They're a little on the heavy side, but they're very sturdy to have. And then of course there's smaller ones that you can get. And if you don't have blocks, you can use a book or a hassock or anything to bring the floor up to you, to do that. And then I also have a belt, and again, it doesn't necessarily have to be a yoga belt. It can be a bathrobe tie or a piece of rope, or a scarf or anything you have. And again, it's to help to assist, to bringing the legs up and working with that. We might actually work with the belt today on our shoulders and our legs, okay? And then also in my little basket of goodies, I have a bolster. And again, this is something that you could make shift at home, just using pillows or even rolling up a blanket. And then I do have a blanket as well. So why don't you go ahead and maybe find yourself in a comfortable position, and we'll get started. Okay? All right, so the first thing I really like to do is to ground in and, connect with our breath. Our breath is so important, and we don't necessarily take the time throughout the day to, appreciate or recognize our breath. So we can take about a few moments here to really connect with our breath. It's very, very important. So before we do that, though, I want us to stand, or I should say sit, nice and tall. So my feet are firm on the floor, and I am about halfway up off of the chair. However, if you are sitting back further in the chair, just notice, again, for me, my short legs, right? My feet kind of swing off if I'm sitting further back in the chair. So that's where I would utilize the blanket. I take the blanket maybe, or the bolster, and bring that onto my feet if I'm going to sit back further in the chair, okay? But for myself today, I'm going to sit a little bit off of the chair and ground my feet in, and then plant my hands firmly on my thighs, okay? And I'm actually going to engage my thighs, and I'm going to do that by pressing my feet in firmly, pushing my knees a little bit forward, right? And then pressing my hands up. As I do that, I get this beautiful lift in my side rib cage, and I can pull my belly button in a little bit. So I haven't even started breathing yet. I'm just getting the body prepared for that beautiful breath to come in. But I want to create the length in my body so that we can really utilize a lot of that beautiful breath. So sitting up nice and tall, shoulders maybe bring them up around your ears and let them fall down, and then broaden through the collarbone. And then just maybe close your eyes. You don't necessarily have to close your eyes, but maybe soften the gaze so that you're maybe looking at the tips of your eyelashes. Can you do that? Or even down towards your cheekbones. And just soften that, and then just start to feel the breath coming in and coming out. It's also kind of a good thing to do one round of breath, or we call easy breath or yogi breath, breathing in through the nose, and then just sigh it out through the mouth. All right, so let's do that once. So inhaling and exhale. Right away, it feels like a calming down a little bit, right? And then just start to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose if that allows for you to do that, if your body allows you to do that. Otherwise, out through the mouth is perfectly fine. So we're going to inhale and exhale, just connecting with that breath. Notice the rise and fall. Actually, you could bring one hand to your chest and one to your belly. And then you can really feel that breath coming in and coming out. So let's take a moment and just notice it in the chest area. And you notice the rise and fall of the chest. You might notice the broadening of the collarbone with the inhalation. And then with the exhalation, the subtle rib cage kind of settles back down. Inhale. The shoulder girdle might lift a little bit. Exhale, again it settles down, right? This is the part of the lung that probably most of us will breathe in, and it is the smallest part of the lung. We really don't take maybe a full enough breath during the day, so taking that and being mindful of the breath coming in and maybe taking it a little bit longer is very, very beneficial to the body and the mind. So inhaling and exhaling. And again, inhaling and exhaling, right? So now what we can do is maybe shift that awareness from the upper chest to the lower chest. So now if you take a moment and just breathe into your belly, you really want to allow the belly to expand out. So with the inhalation, you let that belly of yours just really kind of balloon out a little bit. And then with the exhalation, the belly kind of recedes back in towards the back of the spine. And then you can feel your hand rising and falling on your belly. So go ahead and take a couple of those and just practice that for a moment. So inhaling and exhaling. And again, inhaling and exhaling. You might feel that rise and fall. Oftentimes when I have a moment and before my meditations, I can actually visualize like a wave coming in and coming out. As it inhales, the wave comes in, and exhale, the wave recedes back out into that ocean, right? Making sure that you always still have your length. Gravity takes hold of us so quickly. Yeah, there you go. Another way you can kind of connect to your breath is also the mid-lung, which is a little on the subtler side. It's sometimes a little bit more difficult to feel. But if we take our hands on our rib cages, on the side here, either with the thumbs back and the fingertips forward, or if it's more doable for you, you can, flip your palms backwards with the thumbs forward and the fingertips back. Either way, what you really want to do is connect to the rib cage, right? And then again, lifting up and feeling the inhalation, and then the exhalation, and the inhalation, and the exhalation. And you might feel that rib cage is really lifting out left and right. And again, it's a little bit more on the subtler side than, say, the chest or the belly. So try again, inhale. And exhale, huh? Good. Beautiful. And then placing the hands on our thigh, we'll go ahead and just take now one nice long breath in, taking that inhalation, connecting with all three parts of the breath, and then exhalating it out. And again, inhaling. And and exhaling. Beautiful. And then now let's incorporate the breath with some movement, okay? So let's just take the hands. We're going to inhale, reach the arms out, palms are facing upward. And then exhale. As you exhale, leave the arms up and just really reach from the armpit. Armpit to elbow, elbow to wrist, right? And then inhale here. And then exhale, flip the palm of the hand and come back down, okay? We'll try that again. Inhaling the arms up, reaching, and exhaling it down. Let your arms just float down alongside your body. Again, inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. Now try to see if you can go up a little bit higher. Inhaling, the arms are going to come all the way up. And then exhale, float them down. Now, if you have any shoulder issues and your arms don't really want to cooperate that way, then you can simply just bring your hands to your shoulders and, try to lift from the elbows, okay? Otherwise, it's inhale all the way up. This time, follow the gaze of your hands, looking at the palms up over your head, and then exhale. And as you exhale, start to get some movement in the cervical spine and draw the chin down towards the chest. And then inhale. So we've got coordination of breath and body movement. And exhale. Beautiful. And again, keep those fingers on the shoulders if you need to. One more. Inhale, follow the gaze. And exhale. Bring that head right on down. Beautiful. Now let's try it with a twist. So if we inhale, the arms come up. We can exhale over to one side. I'll mirror image for you. So this is the left. And then we're going to come right on up and exhale over to the other side, right? So you want to really use the outer edges of the hands to help with the lift. Up and exhale. Nice easy twist here. And then inhale, sweep the arms up and rotate right around over to the other side. Beautiful. And then come back to center. And then we'll just roll our wrists around a little bit, working through the wrist joints and the fingers, maybe wiggle the fingers a little bit. And we'll take our elbows and we'll work them. So we want to just tap our shoulders, lift our elbows up, right? Really point them, lift the chin, broaden. So you should feel a nice broadening through the collarbone here as you lift up. And we're just going to unfurl those hands and then bring them back, and then unfurl and bring them back. Coming open and back and open and back. Now the next time we come to our shoulders, let's stay here and tap the elbows together. So tap and then open and tap and open. Here you go. Tap and open. Beautiful. Now you can keep your shoulders here and we can do a side lunge. So we can come over to one side, lift the elbow up as high as you can, keep your chest and chin away from one another, and then come back and then right on over to the other side. This is where you find out which sides might be a little crankier this morning or this afternoon, and then come back up and then over we go. And come back up and over we go. Beautiful. Good. And then relax the hands down and then let's roll the shoulders back. Nice exaggerated shoulder rolls. So here you're bending at the elbow a little bit, almost like you're rowing that boat backwards or forward, right? Coming back. Really exaggerate, squeeze those shoulder blades towards each other. Good. And then come back and roll them the opposite way. I guess you'd be rowing the boat forward now, right? I'm not sure. There we go. Good. And then just kind of shake it all out, right? Open and close. Beautiful. All right, so let's clasp our hands now, right? Interlace our fingers. Notice which pinky's on the bottom and which finger's on the top. We're going to open up the fingers and reach. And I'm trying to get my elbows now as straight as possible. And remember, we're still pushing into the floor with our feet to keep our pelvis engaged and our buttocks to the chair. And our belly button's always drawing in towards the back of the spine to protect our lower backs. So I'm reaching here, right? And then if it is available to you, see if you can't raise those arms up. Try to get nice straight elbows, right? Maybe wiggle around a little bit, reaching those hands way up. This is really good. Opening up in the armpit area. Beautiful. And breathing. Don't hold your breath in this one. We have a tendency to want to do that, so just keep breathing. And then bring the hands down, and as you do that, you're like scooping up the energy and you're bringing it in towards your heart. Now here, I want you to pull on your fingertips like you want to pull them away from one another. And this is really good for our knuckles. And you know, if you can start to get a little arthritis in the fingers from whatever you're doing, you know, knitting, crocheting, on the computer, on the phone, just pulling on those knuckles a little bit, not quite letting it go. And then finally open and close and let it go. Beautiful. And then we'll do it on the other side. So interlace your fingertips the opposite way now, so it should feel a little funnier, right? So I think that's right. And then we're going to press out, and then we're going to come right on up. And again, wiggle around a little bit. Try to get that extension as long as you can. And again, remember, you can always just bring your hands on top of your head if this doesn't agree with you. Reaching all the way up. Press those buttock bones down into that chair. And then bring the hands back down and around. Scoop it up. And then pull on those knuckles, right? Beautiful. And then shake it out a little bit. All right, so I'm going to grab the belt, and you know, we've been doing some upper body stuff, so let's continue with the upper body. And this is really good to open up through the shoulders and the collarbone, and to help keep that shoulder girdle lifted away from the rib cage a lot. So we'll start out easy. I guess this is easy. We're going to open up the belt and open it up as far as you can. So you make a big V with your hands, right? And then I'm going to lift it up over my head, right? And as I do that, I want to feel my shoulder blades kind of come towards each other, and I'm squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other, right? And then I'm going to take it, dip over to one side, lifting up and reaching with that armpit, and then I'm going to come back up and over and reach with this armpit. There you go. Beautiful. And then come back and then sweep it down. All right, shake it out, and then we're going to get a little smaller. So a way of gauging this is to bring your knuckles together and the belt together right in front of you, right out from the shoulder, and then bring them down to your knees. So bringing your knees together and the fist, making like a fist on your kneecaps. This is good because this will help us gauge our hip distance apart from one another, right? So then what you can do is just slide the knuckles away from one another so that now you've got a little bit smaller of a V action. And then we're going to draw this belt up over our head, right? Really reaching here as best we can. Notice one side might want to reach a little bit longer than the other, so make kind of wiggle around, get it right on up there, right? Reach, reach, reach. Right? And then once again, you're going to dip. So you're pulling on the belt, left and right, keeping the chin up away from the chest. And then as you dip down, make sure you keep that opposite buttock bone down onto the chair. You're not leaning into it at all. You're letting the shoulders do the work for you. And then come right on up. And then you're going to take it, and as if you've got a dumbbell, come right down slow. Pull on that belt. Really feel how it opens up that collarbone, right? Take a nice breath here and exhale it out. Little shaking, it's all good, it's good. And then bring it on down, good. All right, huh? And then the last position is probably the harder one, which is bringing those knuckles back to our kneecaps, a little closer grasp of the belt, right? We bring the belt right on out, right? And then once again, we're gonna bring it right on up over our head, really reaching here, keeping that chin up away from the chest as best you can. Really start to pull now that belly button into the back of the spine, in and up as best you can. It's going to protect your lower back as we do this. Now instead of dipping, we're going to twist. So keep those knees together and go ahead and twist over one side of the body, looking over. Try to twist from the rib cage as opposed to the shoulders or the head. And then come back and then take a gentle little twist over to the other side. Doesn't have to be a big twist, just a small one, just to feel it in that lower rib cage, and then come back. Beautiful. And then come all the way down, right? Whew, shake it out. All right. So we'll go back, we'll just kind of come out the way we came in. So now opening it up a little bit further and just noticing here. So the thing about yoga, it's all about body awareness. So starting to connect with your body and, you know, the movement that you make, how it interacts with the body. So I'm going to try and keep my wrists too straight. So I have a tendency to flip the wrists here. You really want to press through the knuckles, try to keep them as straight as possible, and then go ahead and reach up again, nice and tall, lifting here. And let's do the twist again. So twist over one side. There we go, huh? And then come right on over to the other side. Beautiful. And then coming back, dropping that belt. Whew, shake it out, right? Take some time. Always take a pause in between everything that you do. It allows the body to kind of integrate, or let the movement integrate into the body. We call it cellular memory. So, and then reaching all the way out as far as you can, right? Squeezing that belt. Now you really want to feel that shoulder blade just kind of, you know, come right in and in towards each other, really broadening through that collarbone. Feel how this opens up through the armpit. This is good for lymphatic drainage as well, like underneath the armpit area. Keep breathing here, right? And then see if we can twist with this one. So we'll twist around. A little bit more, right? A little bit more twist is involved. A little easier maybe, and then over to the other side. Twisting, trying to twist from that rib cage as opposed to the shoulders or the hips. Beautiful. And then bring that down. Good. Awesome. Now what we'll do is take the belt behind us. So what I'd like us to do, I'm going to slide off the chair a little bit on the corner, probably over this way so you can maybe see me a little bit better, right, on this corner. And then I'm going to fold the belt in half and I'm going to bring it behind me. So I'm going to press now my knuckles down so my feet are firm and I'm pressing down. And I'm reaching and I'm really broadening again through the collarbone, and I'm pulling on the belt left and right, really squeezing here. If this doesn't work for you, you can certainly, you know, just bring your hands like into your back pockets, you know, like as if you had back pockets, and work on opening up through that collarbone area, through the clavicle, right? And lifting up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a little dip with it. So keep pressing those hands and press your feet into the floor. This is important. So you really want to make sure you got a sturdy stance with your feet. And one thing I should have mentioned earlier too is always make sure the chair is on something solid and non-skid, like a rug or a mat of some kind. You don't want to, especially don't use a chair with wheels, right? You want to make sure you have a solid foundation underneath you at all times. So we're pulling on this, we're pushing into the floor, and then I'm going to lean forward, and I'm going to come forward, and I'm going to look at the floor, and then maybe I'll get my arms up a little bit higher, or maybe not today, who knows, and then really reach here, and just reach as far as you can, but try to reach away from the body as opposed to, you know, trying to get up high. And keep breathing. Now this is considered an inversion as well. So when you come up, it's really, really important to tuck the chin in and push the feet into the floor and allow the feet to make the body come up. And then bring the chin up at last, okay? So don't, you know, come up too fast. Take your time coming up whenever we come forward in a forward fold. Maybe I'll show you that in a minute. But it's like, take your time, because if you come up too fast, you're going to jerk your nervous system and you might start to get a little dizzy, and you don't want that, right? So make sure to always tuck the chin in towards the chest when you get your head down below your heart area. But let's try that again. It felt really good on my back, so I'm going to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. I'm going to push in. I'm going to come all the way down. Reach those arms up as high as I can go, and then press those feet into the floor, tuck that chin in towards the chest, and roll right on up. Whew, beautiful, huh? All right. So that's kind of some upper body movement, huh? You can maybe move it around a little bit and shake your hands. Right? You should feel open, you should feel a little, maybe a little taller, right? So now let's work a little bit more on the leg portion. So put my blanket here, and we'll use the belt. So what we can do is we can interlace our fingers first underneath our knee and just draw the leg up, and then just work through the knee joint a little bit. Let that foot kick like you're at the end of a dock, and just kind of kick along. And if you've got any knee issues, just really be mindful of, you know, what you can and cannot do. It's all good, right? You might have a few limitations. Another place where arthritis just loves to hide, right? Okay. And then maybe working through kicking, pointing and flexing the foot a little bit, getting through the ankle joint. Good, and then we'll drop that down, and then we'll take that to the other side before we use our belt. So again, just interlace. You could use the belt actually and lift up if you wanted to and kick rather than interlacing your fingers. It's up to you. And just working through that knee joint, up, kicking it up and down. And then work through the ankle, rolling the ankle around a little bit, one way and then the other way. And then point and flex. Yeah. Good. All right, so now what we'll do is you can take the belt and put it in front of the shin a little bit, right? And then draw the belt up, right? And this is really good for, you know, mobility, but also for our digestion. Our digestion system, you know, this is like we're tugging in towards our intestines, our stomach area, right? Our organs, kind of waking them up a little bit. Really pressing that knee in. Good. The other way you could do this is to bring the belt underneath the foot and then just kind of hoist it up, right? Get that in. Sometimes people, I've seen people who are able to do this with the belt rather than just with their own hands. So using a belt sometimes can really help with lifting this up. So my knee is way up, way past my hip, right? Good. And then bring it down, okay? And then the last thing we're going to do is on the same leg, go ahead and wrap it around, maybe make the belt a little bit longer, and then we're going to take the whole leg up. Now this way you can wrap the belt around your hand and lift up. So now we have a tendency to lean back on this one. So I want you to really lift up, get right up onto those sits bones and push through the heel, draw the knee open in the back and draw the toes back towards the knee. All right, this is a great way of opening up through the hamstrings. Those hamstrings are in the back of the leg. Well, not usually, but there's 3 of them. And they're very important with our balance, for our balance and for our mobility. If we have tight hamstrings, we might have a hard time bending over. So this is a great way of opening up through those hamstrings. Good. And then we can work on the inner seam of the thigh. I want you to put the strap in the one hand and then take the opposite hand and ground yourself down either on your hip or on your thigh. I'm going to put mine on my hip, and then you can have that leg come right out in front. And this is opening up through the inner seam of that leg. Again, really good for toning the muscles on the inseam of the leg. And you can hold it there. And if this is like, I don't think I can do this, then go ahead and, grab your block or the hassock or something, and you can just, rest your foot right up on it, but it's still open. You're still getting that stretch on the inner seam, okay? So you can do that. All right, we'll try the other side. So come on over. And the first thing we did was we tugged that leg in. Now, if you don't have a belt, you can certainly just tug it in with your hands. But like I said, I think I'm finding some people have easier, they can get this leg tugged in a little bit closer to their body when they use the belt. So, it's just finding what works best for you, right? So pull it in, right? Keep breathing here. Right, lifting up, don't lose your length. Good. And then we'll try it underneath the leg and lifting it up. So lift it right on up. Okay. And again, try to get it as high as you can. Really, you might feel it in the hip. Okay. And then bring it down. Then we're going to kick the leg out, all right? So here it's like the reins of a horse, right? So you want to wrap your hands around it, tug those elbows right in towards your rib cage to keep your shoulders down, okay? Kick through the heel, maybe open up through the Achilles tendon. You should feel that in the calf maybe. And watch the toes. Sometimes the toes flap out to one side. Try to keep them right up so that the big toe's right there at 12 o'clock. And breathing, pull that belly button in. Beautiful. And then we'll open up through that seam, grab hold of it with the one hand, take the other hand at your hip, and then just open that leg up, kick through the heel. And once again, if you need to build a little block for yourself, you could do that. Just bring the blocks in, and you can just rest the leg on it, okay? And still get that nice stretch. Beautiful. And then bring it back and bring that down and tap it out. I love to tap. Tap that energy, right? All right. So now we've warmed that up. Let's do this. Let's incorporate the chest. So we're going to take our hands now to the back of the chair, and we're going to squeeze those shoulder blades together. Remember how we had the belt behind us? We're kind of getting that same sensation in the collarbone, right? But this time we're going to slide the feet out and come onto our heels, right? So again, working both. Now we did the belt and we used it for upper body and lower body. So now we're without the belt, we're squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other, and we're getting nice long length in our hamstrings in the back of the legs. Okay. Now we're going to lift up, and we're just going to kind of gaze up towards the ceiling a little bit. This is kind of like a modified fish posture, they call it, or a plank pose, but it's really good for the spine and the lower back. Then if you are able, you're going to take your one leg, you're going to lift it up, You're going to cross at the ankle, right? And then simultaneously, you're going to draw the leg up the thigh as you lift up and bring yourself upright again. And we're in what we call a seated pigeon posture, all right? And this is really good for the hip. So we're going to bring our hand down onto our knee and one on our ankle. And this is really important to keep the spine nice and lifted and long. We're going to be hinging at the spine, not a rollover. If you roll over with your shoulders, right, you're not going to really feel it in the hip. And that's really where we want to feel it. We want to feel it in the hip. So if we lift up nice and tall, push those sits bones in, feel that regalness, right? And then allow the heart to come down over towards the calf muscle. And then you should feel a little bit tug into the hip area. You don't want the ooh, you want the ow. Okay. Oh no, I'm sorry, you don't want the ow, you want the ooh. So just make sure that it's, you know, you can feel it, but it's not too much for you. Once you're here, start to draw the chest a little bit more beyond, if you can, and then you're going to start to feel it in the glute, in that buttock bone as well. And breathing, right? So again, this is to open up our hip and to, you know, really release. We hold a lot of tension, a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of emotions in our hip. So this is a good way of releasing that. And then we're going to come on back. And remember that twist we took earlier? We're going to try it again, this time with a crossed leg. And then the hand comes on the outer edge, and we're going to twist right around to one side. Take a couple rounds of breath here. Beautiful. And then come back, and we'll try that on the other side. So let's set it up like we did. So hands are on the back of the chair, like right at the corner of your chair. If you're in a chair with arms, you know, right at the top of the chair with the arms. Slide the feet out, squeeze those shoulder blades towards each other, look up. Breathing here, take it up. Don't put your head way back though, just let that cervical spine get some strength by just lifting it up and out, right? Then we're going to raise that other leg up, cross it at the ankle, and then pull it up. As you pull it up, you sit right on up. And one side might feel a little different than the other. Okay, that's pretty much the norm. And then hold on to the ankle and the knee, lifting up, and then go ahead and hinge yourself forward as you breathe. And remember, not a rounding over. It's a hinging, and then from there you want to allow the torso to kind of lengthen. So you push down on the back side of the chair as you lean up and over your shin. Try to keep those elbows tucked in as best you can. Those are going to keep the shoulders up and away from your ears. So if you're up, if the shoulders are like this, you're just contracting, right? And you're shortening your length rather than lengthening the body. So you really want to get a lot of length in that back spine. So just keep reaching and growing. So you can grow maybe an inch, right? Well, that could be your goal for 2025. Beautiful. And then come back, nice and slow. We'll cross that leg. Take that hand and then just take a beautiful twist to the other side. Breathing in and breathing out. And then we'll unwind, come back to center, unwind the legs, tap it out a little bit. So here you have it. You know, just get yourself a bathrobe tie or a piece of rope, and you can work the upper body and the lower body all in a short amount of time, and always with breath. Always try to bring in the breath, let the breath become your movement and help you through your journey. So having said that, we're going to take a nice inhale, raise the arms up over our head. Nice big inhalation, and with that exhalation, just bring those arms right on down, lifting up by pressing the thumbs into the sternum. Okay, take a moment here to reconnect with your breath. Maybe set an intention for the rest of your day. Right? And then we'll drop our hands down again, and once again reaching all the way up. Exhaling those hands back down to your heart a second time, this time having a little gratitude towards yourself for coming to the chair. And then finally, we drop our hands down one more time. Inhale, reach those arms all the way up. This time, come to your third eye with those thumbs. You press into that all-knowing, that wisdom. And then here is where I pretty much say that the love and the light that you shine upon myself is the love and light that I shine on you, which really means that thank you for showing up for yourself, and thank you for showing up for me, and namaste.